joining Chapter 2 of Digital Transformation with the Strenure, and I'm really happy today because I have 3 special guests with us, and I really want to welcome them. But before beginning this session, I would like to give a short intro about each one of those. So starting with our first speaker, Rimjhim Upadhyay Chadha, all the way from India. She is a business development head at Roadpoint Limited, a company providing GPS vehicle tracking system and a personal safety solution all across India. She is a vibrant personality. She has been featured in several reputed publications for her contribution to the automobile industries. Hi Rimjhim, I'm glad that you made time to be here.
Thank you for having me, Aishi. It's a pleasure to be here. And like you just mentioned about me, I just wanted to add a few more things here. The company is not just about GPS tracking, but definitely due to more digital transformation, we have shifted from GPS tracking to more AI-based solutions that we are offering and the cloud-based solutions. To the OEMs, fleet management, the spectrum is broader now.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So I might have missed some points here. I will definitely add your website along with this post so that people can go through and search more about your company. Thank you very much, Rimjhim. Going ahead with our second speaker, we have Edith Tay today. And this vibrant personality is an executive director of Property Bank Private Limited, an author, an exceptionally knowledgeable person in the real estate industry, trainer, SEA, EXO member, and with her knowledge, she has been featured as LinkedIn top voice in corporate real estate. Hi Edith, how are you? We are really honored to have you here today.
Ayushi, thank you for having me, and I'm very glad to be able to share some thoughts about real estate and about technology. Yeah.
Wonderful.
So to add on, we are also one of the award winners as a boutique agency in Singapore, primarily focusing on commercial and industrial. Because I think a lot of so-called brokerage and consultancies are into the residential space. So we are helping really the B2B as well as B2C in looking to non-residential property investment in Singapore.
Oh, wonderful. That's amazing. So we will, of course, learn a lot about this industry. We are not experts in this, but definitely from you, we will have a lot to take away from in today's event. And the another, happy-go-lucky, vibrant personality you can see in front of us is Swarna Kalyan. Hi, Swarna. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me here.
Well, my dear audience, I just want to let you know that she is an expert in leadership and transformation, coaching, training, and she is also a senior manager in financial services and insurance. She brings a lot from the insurance industries, and with her strong background in non-profit organization leadership and unlocking growth opportunities, she brings values insight into how businesses can create meaningful impact while driving customer-centric strategies. So welcome once again, Swarna.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me here. I would like to just elaborate a little bit more. Today we will be sharing on how technology and finance go hand in hand, and how we can embrace technology and finance for SMEs and everyone else, to look at it differently. So I'm looking forward to sharing whatever you asked us to share about. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. So just wanted to let everyone know among my audience that we have curated these questions, and these questions are not from our team, but from people who are actually SME owners and are facing doubts and in decision making, and they lack industry expertise. That's why they requested these questions to our respected guests today. So moving ahead, I will start with Rimjhim right now. So the first question was, how can SMEs use technologies like GPS tracking system to improve their operational efficiencies and ensure better safety for their assets and workforce?
So I would like to start by saying that for SMEs, adoption of technology should not be an option. It should be used as a base for your growth. Because when you're growing, when you're at the initial stage, you cannot handle everything. Now, specifically coming to GPS, how GPS can be used for their betterment, for their operational efficiency, I would like to quote few examples which I see live from my business as well. We started as a simple GPS tracking devices trading company. But with the adoption of digital technologies, we have been able to expand a lot more in various segments. You can have a real-time monitoring of your assets, of your workforce, of your field force, of your employees who are working out there. Many a times your sales force are out there and you're not even sure whether they are doing the job or not. In such cases, it's important to get consent from your employees to track their cell phones or provide them some wearable technologies so that the SME owners are able to know that yes, the sales force is visiting the area they were supposed to go. Here, what you can do is just geofence the areas where they are supposed to visit. You would come to know that yes, they are at the designated areas, they have done the work. You can also calculate their idling time, and by calculating this, you will be able to increase the workforce efficiency as well of the people. Every time they are not doing their job or they have not completed their targets, there are numerous softwares which are I would say which are calculating and monitoring how your workforce is performing out there. And GPS technology is able to send the data from the technology that you're wearing to the clouds and to the software, which eventually can be understood by the SMEs owners as well. Now, if I come down to the buildings or the offices, again, GPS technology should not be restricted to just small devices. You can use GPS technology to use predictive maintenance of your entire building as well. There are IoTs now which is making your office altogether well connected. There is a communication between the objects to everything now. So these technologies also using GPS technology, and they are directly communicating with the satellite. How you can do is like you can just fit in the IoT devices with everything around you, be it your lift, be it your electricity and lightnings and television and everything. You can just connect the IoT devices with them and you can monitor them remotely anywhere. You can use the RFIDs and the biometric authentications and the facial recognition technology to enhance the safety of your office buildings, and you can also control the access of personals in some security sensitive areas. So, it is not just limited to one small thing. And one more thing which I wanted to add on here is, though not directly related with GPS, but since it is about technology and SMEs, automate as soon as possible. I know it is credit restricted and requires funds a lot in the initial stage, but in the longer run, it is definitely going to help you because you cannot control everything and you cannot afford human errors at the starting of your business. This automation, use CRM softwares, use ERP softwares to control your supply chain, inventory, and everything. Whatever is your business, be it in logistics, be it anything. But if you do not automate at an early phase, and especially in such a digitally connected world, you are going to lag behind.
So, is there just a follow-up question? And this is my personal question. Are people really open to acceptance? I mean, are they really comfortable adopting these changes, especially related to these devices?
Not at all. They are not, because using these devices and this technology requires some kind of skilled workforce as well. There are, I personally feel there are three major challenges what SMEs and in general people face is, one, a resistance attitude towards adopting to anything new. you have been accustomed and your business has been accustomed to uh, one set area that this is how we are going to do. Now adopting anything new is going to make you uncomfortable. This is where I feel people lack. Secondly, these technologies are definitely not very easily accessible when it comes on financial terms. These are expensive technologies. Initially, you would feel that investing in these technologies can be an add-on in your expenditure, but if you see the longer run, this is definitely going to help you, because as you are scaling up, a lot of areas uh, will be there where human error is going to be there.
Correct.
Technology will help you avoid that. And the last I feel is access to funds. So definitely the government and everyone is coming up with strategies so that these SMEs are able to have more funds. I'm sure our speaker Swarna will be able to give us more insights on how funds can be used with technology. But these three areas I feel is the biggest challenges people usually face when coming to adopting these technologies. And not just SMEs, Ayushi. When I go to OEMs also, like these are big giant OEMs who are manufacturing vehicles.
Right.
It is so difficult to convince them to shift from traditional technologies to these advanced telematics and IoTs.
Correct.
Data security is also a very big threat. So many people are also scared of what if my data is going to leak. I mean, we have to be careful of that as well. Cybersecurity and compliance is definitely play a great role here.
Right. People often tend to take decision only when the scenarios are worse. So yeah, I agree to that.
People take decisions when they have to, or their neck is under the sword, or there is a compliance regulation by the government.
Correct. Well, thank you for the detailed explanation, Rimjhim. That's very true. The whole thing boiled down to one thing: acceptance, and that is where SMEs or OEMs are lacking in decision making. So yeah, agree. Moving ahead to the next question, and that is related to the real estate industry. And Edith, I have a question for you. Well, before our discussion today, you said that in real estate industry, people are still hesitant in adopting technologies. So I want you to elaborate more on that. The question is, in today's digital age, do you see technology transforming the commercial real estate sector, especially for SMEs looking for office or industrial spaces? And above that, I just wanted to ask you, what is the scenario of technology adoption in this industry?
Okay, so the stakeholders for real estate industry, I would like to actually break them into basically the users, the occupiers looking for space, and the other part of it is building owners or unit owners. So actually, it's kind of I would say we have to segment based on different types of the needs. So in particular, right now, you actually also for this session start off with talking about SMEs. So I would say that for the search part, right? So basically for real estate, there's a few segments or processes, which is beginning with the search, and then also the virtual tours, the AI-driven tours, and also smart leasing and contracts. So there are, and definitely the cost optimization. So let me break down into details. For the search part, when it comes to SMEs, right, quite naturally, these days there are what we call the property portals, which is really the advertising portals where users can go and search, and it works like e-commerce. However, it is going to get them, estranged into very difficult situation because the same property would be advertised multiple times, and it could be also by multiple brokers advertising the same, and so it's very listing centric. And it's when it comes to the needs, then it is really by broker, everyone's experience is different. It's very diverse. You know, someone who is a new entrant, happen to be advertising, would only say that I'm interested to just show this particular property. So that's the issue on the search. So if as SME, you know, they are lost because they are so, you know, it's listing centric and it is not needs centric. Yeah. So that's one that I'm talking about. Where technology is concerned, right? There is currently, you can talk about chatbot, trying to understand the user's needs and all that, but nothing beats being human centric. So in my line of work, I would say that many of our clients, whether they are the MNCs or the SMEs, once they experience property bank, right, they know that we use the human touch to enable the search. And of course, back end, we have our own database that can formulate the search. But this database is just not accessible to the public because it's going to be challenging because the updates are a lot of, you know, it's very real time. Yeah. So in that sense, when it comes to search, it could be difficult to say adopting the technology, but in fact, technology with the, you know, e-commerce like property portals, it make it more difficult. It may be easy touch of button, but it gets you more confused as an user. So number one, I would say talk to the right expert. Then second, on the virtual and the AI-driven property tours, if you go and search Property Bank SG for the YouTube, we produce a lot of contents. So that one is contents by nature. So how is it going to be applicable to the building owners? They can engage people like us to be more real and human-centric, or they can say, okay, today I use an AI way of churning out contents, using videos and all that. They can do the same. But I think AI tours are saving time. However, real estate, especially the high-end property, that human touch is still important. So imagine somebody scripting robotic. It may save time for the owners, but nothing beats a real person talking. Yeah. Then the third item, which is basically about the smart building, the smart leasing and contracts, that is already in place with technology. For example, during the COVID years, building owners are already using, you know, DocuSign and all that. So it's kind of already acceptance quite highly. But when it comes to lawyers, and if the buildings are for sale, our lawyers in Singapore still need the hard copy. So I think that's still a little bit of improvement on that. So adoption is not full because in the real estate piece, you talk about the search, the executing of contracts, and then finally, you know, the conveyancing and lodging it with the government authorities. You still need sometimes for more traditional landlords, they want it to be wet inside. Yeah. So the last item that I want to touch upon is the cost optimization part for real estate. So this, I would say, much of it is really applicable to, in fact, both segments, the tenants, but the SMEs may find the use of technology like smart building, like your sensor lights and all that. There is some outlay costs right in the beginning. Whereas if today you are a bigger tenant, or even for that matter, if the landlord wants to actually make this building smart enough, the upfront investment, the capital outlay will be by them, you know, like sensor lights, savings, you know, where lights are automatically switched off, temperature is not as low when, you know, there are few humans in that, you know, all goes to energy saving. But on that cost optimization part, I think the outlay, because of the gadgets and all that, there's still some cost. So SMEs may not be ready to adopt right now. Yeah.
Okay. So just a follow-up question here. You said that in DocuSign, people are using some contractual things. And are you using, or your competitors using, any AI tool which is, you know, generating content which is, you know, easily understood by the end customers? Because we have come across some tools which are synthesizing the whole lot of 7-8 pages of the contract and concising it into few pointers for them to understand. Are you using it currently, or it's still just
No, because our clients are like diverse, from the SMEs all the way to the MNCs. So MNCs, they have internal legal and they have external. So in terms of using AI to summarize, I think that's probably because it's really a legal contract, and by and large, in Singapore, companies still pay for their legal fees. So they want to make sure the lawyers do their work. Yeah. So I think that part is just an understanding and overview, but by practice, it is not. For the DocuSign, it's really like signing off. It's not so much as in like AI trying to interpret the conveyancing. Yeah.
Correct. Then I should reach out to the legal team. Okay. Well, let me go ahead with our wonderful speaker, Swarna Kalyan. And my first question for her is, in your experience, how can SMEs leverage technology to improve customer experience and build stronger, long-lasting relationships with their clients? And this is my personal question too.
Thank you, Ayushi. It's lovely listening to the other two. Wow, so much of learning happening actually. Okay, when we talk about technology should make life easier, not harder. And yet we all have faced one customer service bot that keeps looping you back and forth. Have you experienced that? So what's really happening is, I think we do not understand, many places we find that there is no understanding of how to leverage on technology. In my opinion, what I have seen, some good practices I will share is personalization of scale, meaning that there are some SMEs who use maybe an AI-powered email, where they will collect data of the customers and make it a very personalized message. For example, imagine getting an email from your favorite bakery. It says, hey, today is Friday and your favorite chocolate croissant or cake is on 10% discount, So it becomes like you're using technology to reach out to a client in a nice way. Okay, so personalization at scale is very important, and many of them are using it, and we find that to be effective. Then second is to have a seamless customer experience. We find that, what happens is when you send an email, sometimes you get this email reply saying, oh, we'll get back to you in 24 hours, 48 hours, 36 hours, So what we can probably do, what SMEs can probably do is use WhatsApp bots, use Telegram bots, which are more instantaneous. Like for example, if you message a friend today on WhatsApp, you get a reply immediately, right? Why can't we bring that customer service, same concept? Because as customers, we have expectation. When I send out a message, I want a response. So probably a WhatsApp bot or a Telegram bot are examples of how you can automate or take the customer service to the next level, okay? And then, of course, automation of human touch. How this can work is, let's say I want to get in touch with someone. Then you can probably use Calendly, right? It's an app where you can sort of pop up and say, oh, you want to talk to someone? Why don't you pick this time? So that way, I know I'm going to definitely talk to someone, and I know what time to slot in, and that's way of still having that human touch, but you're automating it. So there are apps, there are technologies available. How do we just integrate customer service into it? And of course, the most, which I think is very good, is to have these loyalty apps and engagements, right? So you can, like, for example, I get this from my gym, okay? And it's like if I miss a few days, then, it's a very nice nudging message I get and say, hey, you haven't come for the last 3 days. So maybe, why don't you come by? It's like a reminder, but it's no judgment. There's no force. And customers do not like force. Okay? They want you to care, but they at the same time they don't want you to sell extra things. They don't want you to nudge and so basically, as SMEs, embracing technology is important, but they also need to know that you cannot do it like, okay, all size fits everyone, right? It doesn't work that way. You have to see what fits you well and use technology in a way to enhance your customer service. Ultimately, as we know, all industries, as humans, we want to have the connection. So technology is not removing human contact. It's basically making it easier. So that's my view on how we can bring technology and customer service together.
Very true, very true. Very well explained. Yeah, you want to say something?
I totally agree with Swarna. Yeah, I totally agree with what Swarna is saying, I had attended some webinars, and then most of the time the automation taxes kind of, I know, yeah, it's fast and easy for the host, the organizer, but it's just not making sense sometimes for the automation tax. Yeah, so totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah. At the end of the day, personal touch matters, as mentioned by Rimjhim and Edith in this very beginning, and you covered the topic totally, that direct selling is a fail unless and until you understand the psychology of the customer, the target audience. It's not going to work out.
Yes.
So wonderful. Okay, so I'll move back to Rimjhim with another question. Well, honestly, it's not an interview round, so feel free to share your views.
Yes.
It's just I'm obliged to share these questions because some people are watching and expecting answers from experts. So, okay. So, going ahead with another question, what are some common challenges SMEs face while scaling in the tech industry, and how can smart business development strategies help them overcome these problems?
Like Aisha, I had already mentioned that SMEs in general face challenges, and I very strongly believe that these challenges are mainly when it comes to the talent, the skilled workforce. SMEs genuinely lack over there, because when you are using technology, you need your team to know how to use those technologies, and not just how to use those technologies. Technologies comes with bugs. Your team must be knowing how to fix them, else there is definitely going to be a fireback in the usage of those technologies. And when you're going out there to hire this skilled workforce, they come with a high price tag. So again, it boils down to availability of funds. So having a skilled workforce is very important over here. Like, my team consists of one entire technical team, and I know even I have to rely so much on them. When I'm facing customers and they ask me questions, my standard and cliched reply is, I will get back to you on that, because I know I need to go and speak to them to have a better clarity on this. So that, I feel, is something SMEs usually face a challenge when it comes to the workforce. The second, I feel, is the funds point. I have already mentioned that these technologies are a little expensive, whether you talk about AI or whether you talk about machine learning. Definitely these technologies help you and help you easier your work, but these technologies are pretty expensive. And there are some very big market giants sitting out in the industry who are making an empire just out of it. Now when startups come and they are like, okay, I will offer you this AI based solution at a lesser cost, or my platform is backed by machine learning, and whatever data you're going to send me, the platform will already tell you in a predictive, and will do that predictive analysis for you. It is difficult to get the trust of the customer, because when you're using these technologies, you are dealing with large amount of data, and you cannot just afford to have even one leakage anywhere. So cybersecurity again is a very big concern over here. I genuinely feel that a major challenge here SMEs will be like, they have a lot of options available as per their price range, but selecting one, that option which fits their budget, which fits their requirement is very challenging. Because when you go out there without really having the knowledge, you are like, which one should I select? It's just not like going to the mall and selecting anything that you feel is good, because your customer base satisfaction is also dependent on the kind of technology that you're using. Like Swarna had mentioned, customer satisfaction and adding a human touch to it, it's very important. You have these technologies, these AI powered technologies are there, and they will give you can just draft a reply on chat GPT saying that I hope this email finds you well. You cannot just copy paste and send it all time. It is now a well known fact that this is how a chat GPT email draft reply starts with. Please add a human touch to that. So again, that understanding, it's very important over there. Another challenge which I feel is the technology is ever changing. It is changing every single day. You get up, you look at the LinkedIn, you open the business news channel, and you see a new thing has come up with. So, keeping up with this technological advancement is also difficult. You're sitting here right now and you see that a new development has happened in US, and maybe that can be a better solution providing to your customer base. So, now you cannot just immediately shift your focus over there. Or maybe you feel that, okay, this solution I've already implemented, but now this is becoming obsolete. Technology is very fast paced. So you have to keep up with that, but at the same time, keeping pace with that does not mean jumping from one stone to the other. You have to balance out that this solution is which fits my budget, which fits my requirement, and my customer is happy over there. So there are multiple facets to this which you have to balance and which you have to understand as per your business requirements. A logistic business technological requirements will be completely different from. So understand what your business requirements are, what your customer needs are, and then adopt accordingly. Just do not keep on jumping from here and there.
Well, I believe apart from understanding your customers, I think we need to educate them as well, right? Because many a times they are not aware of what is right for them, what is not, and what can actually affect them. So AI is a huge buzz nowadays, right? People are talking about it, but many products that I can see are not yet AI driven. They are automated. They are not, they are not smart enough that they can learn from the past scenarios, tasks. So what do you, I want a suggestion of all three of you. What do you think about educating your customers from your niche industry? I would like to start with Rimjhim.
It's like you said, it's very important. It's not just your team who should be well aware of these technologies, but also your customer base. Because especially when you see my industry, my technological solutions are being at the end used by these customers. And if they do not have an understanding of it, it's going to be very difficult to sell my solution to them. Like I've also, when I go to my OEMs and when I sit down, give them the presentation, how this technology is going to bring a change in your overall operations or your or the efficiency on the whole, it's I many times see a blank face. I'm like, we don't understand what German you're speaking to us. So making them understand how this is helpful, educating them, it is very important. Right. Because unless and until you educate them, you cannot gain the credibility you are looking for your solutions over there.
Right. What about you?
Yeah. So I like to divide the types of customers. Some customers like to do it DIY, where they trust technology so much that they just go online, search everything that they need. Then end up they can also be going in circles. So these customers who probably value less of education, they like to just DIY themselves. Then there is another group of customers who take their time to learn. That's where our education comes in. So that's where our YouTube channel, our content production helps them. And it's not just about the users, the landlords, the owners, they are actually watching the contents and let it sink in. And until a time that they are educated, then they say, oh, you know my problem, I want to reach out to you. So education then comes in a very different format. Then you have the third group of the clients who are saying that, hey, this is not worth my time to do everything myself. I rather engage in proper, which is some of our MNC clients, that they will say, Edith and your team, please go and help us with handling the landlords, be our tenant representation, be our buyer representation. And there's also the group of landlords or business owners themselves. They say that I need you every part of my property. I need you to look at what's sensible to buy. Then it comes to a consultancy level. Not that they don't want to be educated, they just don't have the time to handle the nitty-gritty part of things, especially for properties. If I really have the whole session itself, I can even also tell you that in property management itself, there's also where the data, the AI driven, like for example, this equipment, how many years has it been? Real estate is one thing that is very data. You have many pieces of data inside. And until the exit side where they say, okay, I want to sell, where are my contracts and all that? So there is, of course, a storage bank that can actually formulate all this. But currently, it takes more time than the lease transactions or the sale transactions by itself. So, however, I would say that we are very lucky in this era right now where technology can be an enabler. And I personally, as a firm myself, we are actually hoping that if the audience here can look into like prop tech, but in a functional manner, because that's where we can make data enablers fractional that can help individual owners out there. This is something that we are developing ourselves. Yeah. So I don't know whether I diverted a little bit, but I hope that gives some sensation. And for some premises or some, which is like I see amongst, like doctors, like clinics, for example, right? It's a very professional piece of real estate. And that one needs, like group clinics, for example, they have a portfolio of clinics. That's where technology also can kick in.
Right, absolutely. Very well explained, Edith. I think you categorized into 3 customer personas, so it was very clear to us. Moving ahead with Swarna, what are your suggestions here?
Okay, property and financial services, probably we are on the same, we are facing clients, right, and the needs almost. So I agree with the 3 categories of clients that Edith has. But I would also like to say on terms of service, right, because in financial services, what I find is many a times when we explain, we give them the details, people go into a particular plan, they invest, or they buy an insurance, everything is done. But when it comes to claims is when they suddenly realize, hey, I don't understand. So even any amount of education, people take only what they want at that time. So, so you may have spent a lot of time explaining the terms and conditions and everything, but when it comes to claims, suddenly they realize, hey, I didn't understand at that time, now can you explain to me? And I find that how technology has helped is that it is making, especially on the claim side, like InsurTech or finance, FinTech, I find that it is going automated. So it's becoming easier for clients to get in touch with insurers directly, to submit the claims directly, get back feedback, and sometimes there are also robots or bots there, which will sort of automatically say whether your claim is true or not, or what is missing and things like that. So there are trends going on, but education, I find, is still the challenge because clients or SMEs or anybody takes only what they want at that moment. So it's a constant process. It's a constant process of keep reminding, okay, this is what you have, this is what it will do, and if you don't understand or anything, come back to me. And they will come back only if there is something big that happens.
That's where customer satisfaction comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, human beings are still not replaceable.
Yeah,
Definitely not.
Definitely. Well, very well said, Swarna, and I agree to that because I think somewhere or the other we are too much overwhelmed with the overload of information on the internet, right? And that is where we lack patience level to get educated, to listen to someone. If we know that they are selling something, we'll try to run away. So
yeah.
that happens. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. Moving ahead, I will ask question to Edith here, and this question is not related to technology, although I know she has very well explained how databases are managed, how tools like DocuSign and all the tools that are automating the work are being used. But this question is specifically for SMEs in her industry, that is real estate. What are your approaches to to reach out to your customers, your target audience? Is there any technological tool or strategy that you guys are using?
Oh, you see it's really the content management part of things. So with contents that we put out, that's something which we hope to attract eyeballs, but there's only so limited time. Yes, we do have like content managers, but I think for someone to really get to know real estate from the start, it is difficult. So of course, our own AI will actually understand with conversations with them. So AI is definitely one thing that we do and we use. And then alongside, to reach out to customers, basically that's the content part. There's of course the copywriting part where we need to, script it to describe the property, whether by way of WhatsApp, by way of, because again, different customers have different eyeballs on the different reach out. So some like your EDM, some like WhatsApp. Others say that, oh, don't bother me, I'll just like to go on YouTube. Or some would say, I like to just look at beautiful buildings, that's Instagram. So they are all very different. And in the use case for us, other than reaching out, right, we also need to help our customers visualize the space. As of now, we work with interior designers who comes out with renderings and who comes out with, some test feed. But going forward, we know that technology is something that we can leverage on, like to visualize the space, the rendering. I think they are really doing fantastic work. You can find all these tools online, which we hope to embrace them along with our work to help our clients visualize empty spaces. Yeah. So I see my interior designer friend, attending also. So I think this is something that we want to have like semi human beings that we work with, and at times probably the rendering can come out using tools online.
That's wonderful. I'll definitely check out the content today on your website. And what we do for our clients is we use the concept of segmentation. So we divide the audience according to their, recent searches, their recent queries, and then accordingly we segregate the content and shoot the email to them. Otherwise, there is a high chance that it's spammy, or they end up blocking us. So that is where you can ask your digital team to do little segmentation for your audience and then send them content accordingly. That will really help you. So, okay. Moving ahead, I have another question for Swarna here. Purpose-driven leadership is gaining momentum. How can SME owners align their business values with technology to create more impact-driven and customer-focused brands?
A wonderful question, Ayushi, this one is, and very close to my heart as well, because most of my work that I'm doing is on this. We first need to understand that technology without purpose is like GPS, without destination. So you keep going around and around, and then you don't know where you are ending up with, right? So SMEs need to know why they are using the technology and not on focus on how to use it, and that's where a lot of things are happening. Many of them focus on how to use it, but why they want technology is something that I find is many of them don't have the answers to it. So when we look at the purpose, right? So how can we bridge the business values with technology, right? So one of the things is to bring in transparency and trust, okay? Like for example, using tech for ethical business practices, right? To say, for example, let's say you go into a coffee shop, okay, and then the coffee shop claims that they are. Is it mine?
I'm so sorry. This is why I disconnected it. So that's started.
That's okay. So basically, let's say you go into a coffee shop, which says that they have sourcing the coffee ethically, right? But then how do we know it, right? Suppose they do have a QR code that says, like when you scan the QR code, you know where your coffee is coming from, which farm it's coming from, right? So this is embracing technology and bringing it to the client on in terms of transparency, right? In terms of saying that, hey, we are doing ethical business practices. So you cannot dispute on, oh, maybe it's not, right? Then the second is, we know a lot of times we are talking about sustainability and efficiency. So how can we leverage technology in greener practices, right? So we need to know, like for example, let's say it's a fashion brand, okay? Then the fashion brand can probably show using AI, right, to optimize like probably inventory, reduce overproduction and waste, which are about sustainability. And we know that there is so much of wastage that is happening on the food industry, on the clothes industry, right? So when we talk about sustainability and efficiency, using this will really help us say, okay, my business practice, we use AI to see that I don't overstore things, I don't overproduce, and I don't have waste. Then it's sort of like, it's a brand that I would want to be and be a part of it. Okay, so it becomes a branding there. And then coming to how do we connect with communities? Okay, so we can amplify a brand purpose by connecting. Okay, suppose let's say a social enterprise, okay, uses Instagram Live, okay, and then they educate customers on social issues. Okay, I recently saw this ad and I was very, very impressed. Okay, this is by Mahindra Motors, I think, and they wanted to have showcase women power, right, for Women's Day. And they had this ad that was showing high-end cars driven in rough terrain. And then you see a woman coming out as the driver. Okay, and I think we don't need to say anything because they are trying to say that our brand embraces diversity, embraces anybody to be driving these vehicles. They are trying to say that it doesn't have to be a man to drive this vehicle, right? So it's changing the idea of how the world should perceive. And so that is something that you can do to connect and communicate. Okay? And then, of course, we need to always remember whether we use technology, AI, everything, how do we bring in that human touch? Right? So that is something that we have to constantly remember, that technology is not removing humans from the system. It's just making the system much more productive and making sure that it's easier for the customer, it's easier for the workers in the system, right? The employees in the system, and it also brings in higher returns and things like that. So you need to know how to go about it. So basically, I would say, just to summarize whatever, right? Technology should be to amplify the purpose, but not to distract it. And I find that many a times that's not happening. People say, "Oh, we are into technology," but they have you don't see the purpose there, and it's lost there on why technology is a tool, but not. You can use technology as a tool, but not as a strategy. You cannot say we are automated, and then the automation doesn't help anybody at all, right? It only causes more confusion. So they need to understand what's the right way of using technology. How do we keep that focused on the purpose and why we have to do it, rather than focusing on how to do it? So that's my take on basically how we can bring SMEs to adopt the technology, as well as keeping that purpose-driven leadership there.
Of course, of course. Thank you very much, Swarna. Very well explained. Everything is by the people, about the people, and for the people. So if you miss that out and focus only on technology, you're left with nothing. So definitely true, very true. Okay, moving ahead with another question, Rimjhim, for you. With growing concerns around personal safety, how can SMEs incorporate safety tech solutions? I'm sure your company might be providing some into the business models to add values to customers and employees.
See, safety should be a core component for the SMEs, not just when it comes to their business, but also to their personal lives as well. If I am talking about technology and how it can be incorporated in the business, this is again a very broad spectrum, and every different business type will have a different use case of the same technology. If I talk about the GPS tracking or real-time monitoring, for a logistics segment, it will be monitoring of their fleet. But for a business which is working out in the field, who have their salespersons going out there, it is monitoring of their workforce. So it is like very different for very different type of industries. If I come down to saying that what few technologies can be adopted for this SMEs to grow in general and have their safety measures in place, I think in today's world, real-time monitoring is one of the best things that you can do. And real-time monitoring can, if it's for the fleet, you can definitely do the route optimization over there. You can, if there is a starting point that the logistics container has to move from point A to point B, there are innumerable paths to reach there. One can be like circumferencing the entire earth and then reaching, and one can be a direct from A to B. Technology will help you here to find out that the direct A to B route is a better one than circumferencing around the world. And this will not only help you in saving the fuel cost, but it will also save you the time for the logistics to reach, and it will also help you in bettering the efficiency of your fleet. Now, when it comes to personal safety of the staffs, I feel live tracking, there are personal monitors which can be put in your phone, in your pen, or you can just wear it around your neck like your tags. So that will also help you in tracking. And all these gadgets come with an SOS functionality. So if you come under any emergency, just press the button and someone or the authorized person will be alerted, or the nearby police station will be alerted, and you will be rescued immediately. This is a technology which we are specially using in cabs and taxi services in India. All these taxi services, we are fitting the devices, and along with that, we are also providing a panic button for the passenger itself. Anytime they feel that the driver is deviating from the path, or especially for women if they are traveling late at night after their night shifts, it's important that their family and their loved ones are aware of their well-being and they know where exactly they are going. So these SOS functionalities also really help. Anytime they feel a danger is approaching them, they can press it and the help will immediately reach them. Apart from that, I feel there should be automated emergency alerts in the building as well. Your building, your office space is like your second home. Your entire team is there. The money which you have invested, it is right there. And securing and making sure that building, that office is safe, it is also very important. Nowadays, a small electric spark and the entire building goes on flames. How you are going to prevent that from happening? There are these AI powered or IoT powered smoke detectors that even a small thing which is about to happen, they will alert you in advance and you can get that thing repaired immediately. There are applications now and there are use cases of our solutions where you just install the solution and just by the usage of how you are using the electricity in your building or how many times the lift is going up and down, the technology will be able to tell you that, okay, going by this usage pattern, a breakdown is predicted in another a week. Resolve that immediately. You will constantly get alerts that resolve that immediately. There are definitely few fixes you can do through over there updates or some minor changes it can be done without any physical intervention. But for other major breakdowns, you can definitely send your staff and make sure that these breakdowns are prevented even before they occur. So that is also one place I feel technology is going to play a very large role. Now, I also have clients coming to me and saying my kid is going to school and we need to track that my child is going to school or not. First of all, I don't understand this concept that how are you not believing your child is not going to school? But anyway, they want to install these trackers in their children's bag or their shoes without giving their children the knowledge that they are being tracked. Oh, we are making those technologies as well. But since we know that children are below the legal age and if it is coming directly from their parents, we are providing them the solution. So we are, exactly, fit in those small devices in your children's school bags or there are very minute places where you can just hide it without them knowing it. So that is also an area where you can use technology for safety purposes. And one more thing I would definitely want to say here, which we feel is the AI-powered CCTV cameras or the surveillance camera. These surveillance cameras, how they are different from the general CCTV or surveillance cameras is that they have this firmware inbuilt in them that you can put you can put the facial recognition features inside them, and you can also just blacklist the kind of like if you have had a theft or anything in the past, you can just add those faces in this firmware, and if these people are anytime seen anywhere near your building again, you will get an alert. So any suspicious activities like these can also be immediately alerted. All this will definitely add up to the overall safety of your building, your staff, and your customer there. And one more thing I want to add here is the role of video telematics. Again, in the logistic industry, especially if I look in the situation that's happening in India, the truck drivers are like driving 24 hours. It's not humanly possible for them to do this job for 24 hours. So these video telematics, how it is helping us is even they are having a little bit of fatigue. That is the camera which is fitted inside and outside, and a slight fatigueness or drowsiness like yawning or anything distraction that's happening on the driver's end, immediately you will be alerted. And that alert will turn off the ignition or reduce the speed of your vehicle. So, the driver is also alerted, okay, just because I just had a small nap and an accident might have occurred, these technologies help in preventing those accidents. So if you see technology, there are innumerable use cases in which you can use it just to prevent any mishappening and ensure the safety of your business and your clients in general.
Okay, wonderful, wonderfully explained, Rimjhim. Well, I think there's a question.
Yeah,
concern.
Sagar is asking me a question. Why same robber will come to rob the same building? Well, if they will not, then
Similarity.
there are issues which are like you don't even want that person near your premises anymore again. If someone is constantly like following you everywhere, you want a physical restriction on that person. You don't want that person to be around you. And Sagar, you'll be surprised to know there are people who try to attempt this again and again. If their first attempt is failed, they will want to do it again. And
Yeah, it's familiarity.
yeah, we have clients who come and put in this thing to us. That this person is again and again coming to the building. How do we stop that? So yes, we have to put in the technology. You have no idea what kind of weird use cases come to us.
Well, we have recently come to the news. I think, Rimjhim, you remember there was a celebrity who was attacked in Mumbai by a robber. That was a multiple attempt effort.
Exactly.
So, okay, wonderfully explained. So, my dear SMEs, if you are looking for office space, reach out to Edith. If you are looking for security,
office and industrial. So welcome to Singapore.
and if you are looking for security, Rimjhim is your girl. And if you lack motivation, you think you doubt your leadership skills and all, we have a wonderful speaker here, Swarna. So, moving ahead with another question for Edith today. I know that real estate is still lagging in various technical aspects. The reason is not the leaders not opting for it, but the end users, the customers are little hesitant and they don't want to go and depend on technology, believe the technology totally. So my question for you is, how do you stay competitive? How do you convey your information to your customers? And as you mentioned that you are using content tools and all, is there anything else that you apply for your industry?
Okay, so I think on the part of applying to the industry, it's not just a tech part, but it's like it must be relevant and applicable. So just now at the beginning, I mentioned that there are two groups. One group is looking for a space, and that one can be handheld. But the other group, as building owners, right, we believe that there is I also mentioned in the beginning that we hope to pop tech, because after all, these are real assets, and real assets itself, we are trying to revolutionize, like basically making it like a fractional property management. So this will help us be competitive, because it's kind of an end-to-end solution from the beginning that they need to seek a user for the property as a tenant, and then during the interim itself, like what things fall apart, maybe repainting the space again, that all this can be using technology to also track. And then eventually, the best property that is well managed will definitely be something that is also very much tenantable. So this is in the works. And of course, with technologies out here, I think we like to see how we can string all this together. And the other part is investment management, where we actually help people who are looking for a piece of asset, how we can then turn it both using tools that's actually the real-time transactions that we can track, and also to advise them. Of course, the insurance technology part, right? They have this like investment AI chatbots and all that. But I think it can go beyond that with a touch of technology plus human intervention. You're mute.
Yeah, okay, got it. So the thing that got my attention is insurance guidance that you give to your audience, and that is very crucial because it's a huge investment that they are looking forward to. And if you are giving a personal touch to it, so definitely it's a win game, right? Wonderful. Thank you, Edith, for explaining me. let me go ahead with another question, the last question for Swarna here. What are some emerging tech trends in the financial services and insurance space that SME owners should pay attention to for future-proofing their businesses?
Wow, this is interesting, and it's money, right? We are talking money here. Okay, show me the money. Right? So
we have all ears on you.
The future of finance isn't about numbers. Okay, it's about smart tech and goes beyond the days, where we were like keeping money in under our mattress. So now it's like your smartphone here is your bank, is your insurance agent, is your financial advisor, everything in your hand. That's reality. Okay. So how can they get into the space so that they are there where the customer needs? Of course, there are different types of customers, retail, then you have the B2B, but let's look at customers as a single thing, right? Some may apply to retail, some may apply to B2B, but generally speaking, right, the emerging trends that I see and in the financial services sector is that one is embedded finance. We call it embedded finance, meaning that payment, lending, insurance, all of it in one. Okay, you go to Grab app, you have everything. You go to Trust Bank, you have everything. So it's become like everything into one place. Okay, you can take a loan, you can pay, you can buy insurance, everything in one portal. So that's happening in big things in the finance side. Okay, so now SMEs can actually use like the option of buy now, pay later. We call it as BNPL. So that you can see in Atom. So if I'm a person selling something, right, then I can embed this into my app, so that I'm giving an opportunity for the customer that they come into my app and then they know that there's instant financing available, and so I don't lose the client at that point, right? Then they have options. Oh, maybe I can use that top. Oh, maybe I can use something. So options are there. So that's one thing, embedding into finance into your apps itself. Then second is AI and automation, right? Wow, this is like taking a lot. In my own financial advisory business, I'm finding that I have more smart portfolios. So what happens with smart portfolios is when I send the link to my client goes through a AI-driven risk assessment, and the AI is telling them, hey, based on the questions that you have answered, you are high risk, you are moderate risk, you are low risk, and giving portfolio suggestions according to them, and also giving them ideas on, okay, if this is the portfolio you're taking, then probably your returns are this, but also the risk is here. So there are a lot of information given to the clients to decide what they want to do. So it's basically AI and automation coming together to be able to go into the investment realm, right? If you're not sure, use this and it will take you through that. Then, of course, the very common one that I'm seeing is also the filing of claims. All apps now, all insurers have apps, and then you can actually file your claims online, and then they also have AI to see whether the claim is legitimate, does it have all the factors that's required for them to do. So it may even approve and say your claim is approved, the claim is not approved, so please come back with whatever details. So that's happening on the InsurTech side. Okay. Then coming to, of course, opening a bank account, right? Banking, you see how it has developed. So it's become like seamless integration between banks, fintech, businesses, right? So a lot of SMEs are having the option to actually connect their accounting platform softwares to their banking portal. So with that, what happens is, like, when they spend something, automatically the accounting is able to filter and say, okay, this is an expense, this is an income, this is what it is. So it's like sort of integrating everything for you together. So no more manual tracking of where you spent what and how do you do tracking invoices, all that is not happening. Because when we go and make payments, right, we are actually can upload the invoice. And then when you go back to your accounting, the invoice is already there. So those things are really happening big time on the banking platform and integrating the accounting software with that. And then, of course, we have many things like transparency and trust that's happening. Like, you know, when you use blockchain or smart contracts. So then what happens is that when you do that, basically, like the moment the work is completed, automatically it triggers you to do the payment. So therefore, there's transparency, there's no waiting to get approval, get things done and things like that. So in a way, a lot of labor-intensive tracking has been reduced because of AI and technology on that side, right? Normally on the accounting side, they have to go through a lot of things before they decide. So now AI is sort of helping all these things very much on the accounting side as well. And then, of course, basically, InsurTech, we cannot deny that at all. But if you're looking at what SME specific ones is coming up with cybersecurity. You know, cybersecurity is like the new fire hazard. You know, like you never know when it's going to happen. You know, and you cannot wait for it to happen. So if there are a lot of SMEs who don't understand, especially when they're dealing with data, right? Like now for property bank, the Edith and all that, they're dealing with a lot of data, right? And data theft is very normal. And so, you know, having a cyber insurance to cover your data, all the information that you have is becoming important. And so InsurTech is also there happening on that scene. So there are many levels on which finance and technology is come. And I think, in my opinion, it's really going in the right direction. It's just that how we adapt to it is what is important, you know. So just to sort of wrap up this, I would say technology isn't changing finance. Okay, it's not really changing, but it's just redefining trust, speed, and access. So how quickly can I access? How quickly can I get things done? Like, you know, transformation happening, and it's also becoming trust, to build in the trust. And that's why you need cyber insurance and things like that, so that we can trust the company that we're going with. And so that is basically what we need to really understand in terms of finance and technology. Yeah.
Okay, I will also add a bonus. This is actually the book that I've published, which is called Property Blueprint for Businesses. So I thought, you know, for a gift for the audience who has been tuning in very attentively. So if you can just drop a DM or comment in the comment section, property blueprint. I think that's something that I will send to you. I think for Singapore side, right? Have a coffee and then we can meet and I can hand you the book. Yeah.
That's a nice offer.
Yes,
I
sorry.
thought we have something physical, you know. We are all like meeting on an online space, right? So I thought that will kind of help people know that this is not an AI image, it's not an avatar, it's real person.
We are blinking.
Kidding. Yeah.
Wonderful. So Edith and Swarna, let's catch up. Rimjhim, you are cordially invited to Singapore. So wonderful. It was great talking to you all. And yes, Swarna well said that it's not actually changing the finance market. It's speeding up the process, automating it. But at the same time, I have been the victim of a scam, unfortunately, a cyber scam. So it is there somewhere or the other. There's a huge gap of trust, authentications, and security. So I totally agree with everything that you said. But cyber security is the very important aspect of technology, what I believe today. So yes, with this, I would like to wrap up. My last question, actually, it's not a question, it is just your opinion on what aspects your industry, your specific industry is lacking in technology or lagging in technology. I mean, is there any particular thing that you think should be there so that it can be improved? Yeah, the process, the strategies can be improved. Is there anything else? Starting with Rimjhim.
I think, okay, you want to go with Rimjhim. I can actually share this.
Sure. Please go ahead.
Because you just mentioned about cyber scams, right? The scams that are, because when we talk about money and scams, what I find is missing is education on how to use these, right? Maybe for sure, I think there is not enough invested by companies on cybersecurity to make sure, even big banks are going through this, right? So which means that as smart as we have someone on the one side, there are smarter ones on the other side, right? So it's like when we talk about technology, there are two. Recently, I don't know whether you read this. This person is graduate from Stanford, and he has got admissions into some of the well-known Ivy League schools. But he decided that he's going to start doing codes on how to answer interviews by different companies, right? So he is actually helping people to cheat on interviews. So like one side you have the right person, the other side you have the other. So these are, so they have found people who have taken this, they have paid him to do it, and they have gone through interviews, especially online interviews. Like Edith said, I'm not an avatar, I'm real, right? But many a times we are adapting to online to do interviews, to do things, right? And so this has happened where people do interviews, but they are like every time they ask, there's something giving them the answer, not themselves, but someone else is giving them the answer, and they're answering, and they come up with flying colors, get employed, and then they know that, hey, this person doesn't fit the job because they really don't know the stuff, right? So that's cheating that's happening on the technology side. So it's not only it's happening in many layers, but if I'm really speaking on finance, cybersecurity, cyber awareness, scams are huge, and we need to really understand, educate people, like, when you download something on the phone, how do you use it? And then it's becoming challenging because different age groups, different knowledge of what is happening. Like, I can take my father, for example. He will say, oh, something popped up and I clicked on it. Because they don't know that, right? So it just popped and he doesn't know how to remove it and things like that. He clicks on it and then his phone is hacked, So these are real problems, and I think we all should come together. Whoever is there, whether if you're technology specific, we should come together and really educate the public on how we can use technology the right way. Also show them that what else can go wrong. So that's